You are now tuned in to the Windy City Benders podcast. This is WCBP.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB podcast, a part of the Hockey Podcast Network, presented by DraftKings. We are back after another little week off. We'll be consistent, I promise. We'll get there. Life is happening, so sometimes you got to take a little bit of a break. Tanner is officially across the country now.
Nah, I'm like all the way across. I'm just a time zone over.
Pretty much.
I'm closer to Mexico now.
Closer to Mexico. So how was the move, bud?
That was good. I mean, drove the entire time. So like 20 hours.
It's nuts.
Over 2 days, it's fine.
Yeah. So you miss beautiful Chicago right now when we just got a shit ton of snow?
No. Live by mountains, man. This is the best.
Yeah. So lots happened in the week and a half or whatever that since we last recorded.
Yeah. Hawks did some stuff. Hawks
kind of went on a bit of a roll. Again, I have put in no time watching this team lately because for a while they were winning when I wasn't watching. So I figured I let it be, keep the streak going. Then they lose. And then I watch a little bit and they get their ass kicked. And I'm just like, what is going on here? But we'll get into that in a second. Yeah, so let's talk about, let's just get right into that now. Let's talk about the record. So they ended up being 3-2-1 since we last recorded. Last time we talked with you guys, it was the 2-1 Vegas win over Vegas.
3-1-2 since we last recorded.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot. Overtime last night. My bad.
Yeah.
My apologies on that. 3-1-2. So yeah, they took a big win against Vegas. They took it into Columbus. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't watch. So
I mean, Seth Jones wasn't even playing this game.
Yeah,
the first game back in Columbus.
COVID protocol. I thought this was gonna be a Boquist revenge game, honestly.
That's the typical thing that happens with the Blackhawks, is it not? Like David Kampf has been like the Achilles heel of the Hawks when they play the Toronto fucking Maple Leafs, which is like the dumbest thing. But yeah, I don't know. It was the Hawks actually did play pretty well, like for that week.
It was a 4-2 win against Columbus. You had goals from DeBrincat. He had twos to put him up at 23 on the year. You had Calvin DeHaan getting on the board for his first of the year. Connor Murphy.
The DeHaan goal, that's the one that was Kurashev went flying down the ice to beat out the defenseman and throw it to the top of the circles where DeHaan just went top shelf with it. It was sick.
Kurashev is so fast.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. Once that kid is able to find his consistency, he is going to be such a good player.
Just real quick about him too. Like, I think that the deal is like he's out there like going balls to the wall all the time, so he doesn't appear too fast sometimes when he has the puck because he's been skating so hard the whole time. And then there's times where you catch him where he's fresh legs and he's going in a straight line. You're like, fuck, man, Kurashev is fast.
Yeah.
Mark Andre, work on that endurance.
Yeah, Mark Andre was in the net for this one. Faced 26 shots, let 2 in. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 in.
Yes. One was a shorty.
One was a shorthanded to Nyquist.
So fucking depressing.
But yeah, so that was that game. We're just gonna go through these really quick. Loading. Montreal.
There you go.
In Chicago, it was the Andrew Shaw night. Chicago
that's right.
Too. Lowly Montreal Canadiens, they from Stanley Cup final to bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, man, that's how you tank when you want the first overall pick.
Tanking for right.
Yikes,
man. So 3-2 win. The Hawks get goals from Kubalik, Kaner on the power play too. So power play goal, which let's go. This power plays seem to disappear lately. And then speaking of Kurashev, he pots probably one of the strangest game-winning goals in overtime. Wasn't it called back twice?
I don't know.
once
I
for
didn't
an
get a chance.
offside.
I didn't get to watch the game because that was the day I was like moving a lot of things.
I believe that it was
or-
called for offside. It was challenged for offsides. And then he gets pushed into the net
Yeah.
and the puck just slides in. So
Well, wasn't it challenged for goalie interference or like that it even went in the first place and then it was challenged for being offsides?
yes, correct.
I like forgot about it and then I saw highlights just come across on YouTube from the NHL's now NHL stuff. Also, I can't wait till they come out with the newest like weird NHL volume because I guarantee this is going to be one of those
100%.
things.
Yeah.
I love watching those. It's so funny. But I watched it and I was like, there's no way. Like that was it. It's like, yeah, man, that's how the game ended.
It just brings back to like what we talk. I feel like we talk about this every single year. What is goalie interference? Like, what is the rule? Like what? Like, how do they judge this by?
I mean, they should just like have me on call and I'll let them know.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Give me a quick replay and then I'll figure it out. It's super easy, dude.
Oh man, but yeah, so it was a must-win game. It sucks it took them to overtime, but the fact that it was an Eastern Conference team, it doesn't hurt them as much.
Yeah, I mean they won, so it works.
Then you go to Saturday, they played the Ducks, and
the Ducks who were quietly playing very well this year too.
Yeah, they are though coming in Chicago. They were going down the wrong direction in the standings. They've been slipping big time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Their last 10, right? Currently their last 10, they're 3-7.
Which
by winning their last game.
Yeah, kind of more what you expected. It was a tight battle in the first period. Hagel gets on the board in the second to make it 1-0. Then you get goals from Kane and Kubalik. Again, Kane on the power play from DeBrincat and Taves to make it 2-0. Kubalik that's the last one to make it 3-0. Marc-Andre gets his 70th career shutout. Hawks win 4 in a row, and the boys are getting hot, baby.
It's funny because they're winning these games and DeBrincat's getting assists, so it's kind of weird because he's only got 9 assists on the season, and he had 3 in those 2 games, with 2 against Anaheim and 1 against Montreal. And I'm just like, I wonder how many more assists he would have if he wasn't the only one scoring goals. Like, he's good at feeding people. It's just no one else on this team can finish.
So I want to ask you now, because we're at the halfway point in the season. I think we're at 40 something games.
Yes.
I was scrolling through our social media the other day.
41 games actually exact. So we're halfway through.
All right. So I was going through our social media the other day looking for something. I forgot what I was looking for, but I found a clip from before September. It was September before the season started. And you made the statement and you gave it your Tanner guarantee.
Yeah.
DeBrincat's getting 40 goals with 90 points.
Yeah, I should have said 50 goals with 90 points.
So are you still feeling? No,
because nobody else can score. Like, he would have needed 40 assists with getting 50 goals. He can still get 50 goals, I think. There's no way he's going to get 40 assists when no one can fucking score.
So you're confident in the goals, but the points, it's like, that's out the window.
Yeah. He's the only one scoring. I think I brought it up, the fact that in our group chat that like before like the last few games, like he had scored, and I was like, he has like 28% of the goals for the Hawks on the season. So
right now. Yeah, 24. He's got 24 goals. Hagel's got 10. Kaner's got 9. Kubalik's got 9. Kirby's got 6. Taves, Strome, Entwistle, Borkstrom all have 4. Seth Jones with 3. Kurashev with 3. Murphy with 3. McCabe with 3. Kara with 3.
There's a total of 96 goals the Hawks have scored, and DeBrincat has 24 of them.
That's nuts.
Right? Yeah. Like I wish that that's why I keep saying like obvious. I think it's obvious that Kaner's got something wrong. Like where there's been like rumors about him having like an injured wrist, and it's like I mean it makes sense. Like he's not scoring. He's got 9 goals in 37 games. That's not typically Patrick Kane. He has missed the net a few times though recently too. So I don't know. He's still getting assists like crazy.
But it was funny too in our group chat before, because Kane that was back-to-back games. Kaner had power play goals.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, Canner just needs one, and he's gonna just turn it up. And then the next
score
game,
like 8 in
boom,
a row.
another power play goal. I was like, let's go.
That's right.
DeBrincat's also, I don't know how you want to look at it. He's sixth in the league in goals.
Yeah. I mean, and he's
only 5 behind Ovechkin and Kreider for number 1.
The funny thing is though too, like he's just being consistent, and this isn't even him exploding. Like he can there's times where he can just explode for a few multi-goal games in a row.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like he can easily hit 50.
I think he for sure is going to hit your 40 that you predicted. No, for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, we said he's at 24. He needs 16 in the last half of the season. I think DeBrincat's just going to finish stronger than he started. The team hopefully is going to start to get a little bit better as they are no longer testing for COVID for asymptomatic players. So maybe a lot of guys not going in and out of the lineup as much. I don't know. We'll see what happens when there's like the trade deadline coming around and who we end up getting rid of.
Yeah, we're going to get to that too.
How the team looks with, like, I'm assuming him and Kane are going to be fine together. I don't know. We'll see.
There's some interesting rumors that came out about that. We'll get to in a second here, but that was 3-0 win for 4 in a row. They had a nice early game in Seattle on Monday.
Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
Betty White's 100th birthday.
This game, again, I didn't watch because at that point they were on the 4-game win streak. So I was like, okay,
not a lot to watch.
But listening to Derek Kane's comments after the game, he was asked, so you guys got a point out of this game. How do you feel about like your team's play? And he goes, well, we're going to hurry up, pack up, and get out of here before they change their mind and take that point from us because it was that just garbage out there.
Yeah. It wasn't that great.
Hawks were outshot 37-27. 1 for 5 on the power play.
Yikes.
Goals from Kubalik and Hagel. Vince Dunn and Ryan Donato scored.
This is also sorry to like cut you off, but like you're starting to see Hagel's getting a little bit more consistency. He's been scoring a lot too. That's why he's second on the team in goals. After he was either out with injury or COVID, like earlier.
He's been in and out too. I think it's been injuries.
Yeah, I fucking love Hagel though. I also just a quick mention on the Kubalik goal. This game was actually a great defensive play by Gustafsson, where he sprawled out and laid out and got a poke check off, and then the guy just left the puck while he poke checked it. He stood up and just fed Kubalik on a breakaway. It was gorgeous. I was like, there's no way that was that? It was. Okay, it was Gustafsson.
I was about to say Gustafsson and gorgeous defensive play really doesn't go hand in hand. So
yeah, man, it's crazy. But I think the Hagel goal is probably just the one where he's just, I remember now. It's just, he gets to the front of that. That's all he does. He gets to the front of that, puck finds him, and he just puts it away. It's so great.
Said a million times, he's just a better Shaw.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So that was another power play goal for him. Keener with another assist on that. Kubalik with an assist. They tied it pretty early on in the third. Nothing in overtime. Go to a shootout, and the Hawks lose 2-0 in the shootouts. So they snap the winning streak at 4 games, but they keep the point streak alive at 5. Again, not a great team or a great game, especially, considering you're playing against the expansion team who just cannot do anything at this point right now. Like, they're just the definition of a new hockey team, what Vegas should have been in theory, but
the growing pains of the season.
Yeah. They were supposed to play on Tuesday against Edmonton. That game got rescheduled for February, I believe. So then nothing going on until Friday and Saturday, back-to-back games, a home and home against Minnesota. Finally, I watched Blackhawk hockey again for like 15 minutes.
Yikes.
This is bad. 3 days rest. You think this team would have been more ready, especially playing against a division opponent, a division rival.
Yeah, who also has been not super hot lately. Yeah, man, I didn't get a chance to watch this game because it was
But
like I had mentioned before, but since moving out here, it's great because I got ESPN Plus, so I can watch the shit on my phone, on my computer, on the TV. But for whatever reason, this game wasn't broadcast on there, and I was like, well, that sucks. And then I saw that they got scored on like 2 or 3 times, like in the first period, and I was like, well, good thing I'm not watching this game now.
yeah, they let up the first goal like just under 3 minutes into the first. Marcus Foligno, Ryan Hartman gets 2 goals. He gets his
Dude,
net
Ryan
goal like about a
Hartman, man.
minute and a half or so later. And then he scores one more with about 3 minutes left in the period. And then they start the second period a little bit better, but about 12 minutes in, you let up another goal, and then they let up another goal to make it 5-0 going into the third. Dylan Strome back in the lineup for the first time since being out with COVID protocol. He gets on the board for his 4th of the season with Kane and Hagel getting the assist, and that was all she wrote. They also, Fleury got pulled, I believe it was after the first period in that game.
After he let it in 4.
Or also it was like
I,
mid.
so I thought I had
So
looked
after
at
the
the
fourth goal, so
stats.
yeah, so halfway
Yeah.
through the second period, he gets pulled. And you know what? He's played a lot of hockey.
Yeah.
So that probably, but that's tough because of the 3 days rest.
Yeah, but still, he's been getting peppered, and it's how they do the belt after each win. It was literally the belt went from him to someone else because he couldn't give it to himself, and then back to him the next win.
Yeah.
It's basically every time he wins a game,
He gets the belt.
If he doesn't have the belt, he's getting the belt because he's won them the games.
Yeah.
Like he just plays insane.
Even the Seattle game, like that, they were even saying like everybody in the post game like conference and stuff and all that were like,
yeah,
that was a Marc-Andre was the only reason we got a point was because of Marc-Andre. He
yeah,
goes, we had no business.
They would have won the game because the Donato goal, it's a shot that he saves, and then the defense that are coming back just crash into him, and the puck ends up like going in. Like he can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Like it was the same thing. It was another game recently. Oh no, it was Lankinen was playing. I don't know. There's a lot of times where like the puck's going in because of defensive collapses and not that Marc-Andre is just letting it get past him. And it's just like so frustrating to watch sometimes because you're like, this should have easily been stopped before it even got to the net. And it's just like, he stops everything. It's insane.
The theme of the team is just the defensive collapse in the zone around the net.
Yeah.
Like it's like the amount of times you get count that you got nobody covered in front. You got 2 defensemen behind the net. You got like just defensemen standing there doing nothing. It's like, it's so frustrating because Marc-Andre deserves so much better than what he's getting from this team. And it is frustrating.
I bet it feels good to just be praised so hard though.
Yeah. So yeah, they lost that one 5-1. And then yesterday, again against Minnesota in Minnesota,
Lankinen gets the call.
Lankinen gets in the net, which turns out to be costly, but much better start. Borstrom gets on the board, Brinkett gets on the board in the power play, which was just a beautiful power play goal. Nice little passing play. Seth Jones just to Brinkett backdoor.
It touched like almost every stick besides whoever was standing in front. And I was just like, at what point? It's kind of just every power play. I'm like, at what point does DeBrincat get the shot here? Because as soon as it does get across to him, it's a goal, like automatically. It's insane.
He's our Ovechkin.
Yeah, seriously. I just love how wide open that net was because usually he's just squeaking it through like under the blocker, over the shoulder. Like that time he just had the entire net to shoot at, and he just put it right in the like dead center of like what he had open. It's just so good.
Eriksson Ek gets one back on the power play with 30 seconds left in the period, which that's another thing that this team always, I feel like the early goals and then like the last minute goals is 2 things that they really struggle with. No goals in the second period. Kaprizov gets on the board to tie it up.
That was that fucking Kaprizov goal. That 4-minute power play is just horseshit. Like right before they call that penalty, DeBrincat gets clocked in the head, with a high hit, like right in the slot. And then I think Taves gets called for like a hook, and he's just fucking pissed about it.
Furious.
Yeah, and so then on his way to the box, he just ends up slamming his stick against the ice and gets an extra 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike. And the Hawks almost kill off the entire 4-minute penalty until Kaprizov just gets like a wide open chance. Just fucking horseshit. Just no call. I feel like DeBrincat gets a lot of no calls because of how short he is. Because I've seen him get hit in that face with high sticks and nobody fucking calls it. And then he gets hit in the head. Nobody fucking calls it. It's just frustrating.
Yeah. So that makes it 2-2. Borstrom with his second of the game makes it 3-2.
That goal too. The Borgstrom goal was a great play by Carpenter. He ended up intercepting a pass in the neutral zone and bringing it into the zone, and then they just crashed the net fucking hard. And Borgstrom just ends up like getting a little bit on the puck to put it through Kokkinen's legs. Whew. Gotta love that third line grind, man. Yeah.
That lead didn't hold up for about 5 minutes. Kevin Fiala ties it up with about 2 minutes left in the third. Goes to overtime, and Marcus Foligno gets the overtime winner. Less than a minute left in overtime. News that came out of that game: Lankinen goes to the IR for right hand injury. It's anticipated he's going to miss up to 3 weeks, at least. They didn't say specifically what the injury was, but not good for this time of season.
I mean, they've been riding Fleury like crazy, so I'm sure he'll just end up playing like 95% of the games for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, but it's like the frustrating thing about it, and I know anybody listening to this is probably going to think I'm crazy, but if this was the time that you needed the full team to make that push to see if you can make, a wild card spot, I think they're officially out of the division race. I can't see them catching up in the division at all.
Oh yeah.
But now you're going into mid-February before Lankinen gets back. You got the trade deadline around the corner there.
Man, this is the type of shit that like ruined the season when they started the year with Bowman and Colleton.
Yeah.
Because if you take that first 9 games and you start the year with King, and you just take his basically the Hawks winning percentage from when King started until now, and you use that as the first 9 games, the Hawks are going to be near wild card position territory. But now they're so far back because of that fucking shit start.
To be fair, though, they're only 7 points back of the last spot. San Jose's got 44, and they hold the last wild card spot. It's not impossible.
They do have who does San Jose have games in hand on them though? No, they don't. Hawks do. But there's like Winnipeg and Dallas and Minnesota.
Calgary.
All I have at least like 4 games, 4 and 3 games.
So Edmonton's got 37 games played, Winnipeg 38, Dallas 38, Calgary 36. So it's like, it's so deceiving looking at the standing and saying, oh, they're only 7 points back. But then you got these guys who have a ton of games to make up.
What's funny is like the Islanders only have 34 games played.
Yeah, dude, this is such a shit show season for that team.
It's just, so does Ottawa, only 34 games. Like some teams have like 9 more games played than them. It's just a mess. But yeah, what could have happened if the Hawks didn't start the year with the whole shit show going on?
Honestly, I don't think anything changes.
I mean, they would probably have a few more points, they'd be not in the discussion of coming in fucking last. They've honestly dug themselves out of like bottom 3 in the league.
They just want to make sure they don't get that first round pick from Columbus.
Yeah, right. Hawks are sitting in 24th right now in the league, tied with Columbus, but Columbus has 3 more games. Jesus. They need a spectacular second half of the season if they want to do anything, and they need other teams to just keep shit in the bed.
They have to go on that St. Louis style run.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
But
Jesus, and I mean, like the Western Conference is like so much tighter though, points wise than the Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference just has tons of points though. Like the top teams, I think what is it in the top 10? They have like 7 teams or some shit like that. Only teams in the Western Conference in the top 10 in the league right now are Colorado, Nashville, and St. Louis. So yeah, there's 7 Eastern Conference teams in the top 10 in the league right now.
4 teams from the Central Division, the top 11. We're in a tough division, man.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Yeah, so I guess we can use that as the transition. You know, we're getting to the point where trade deadline's coming up. This team is on paper probably going to miss the playoffs, probably an 80% chance right now. They're missing the playoffs. Unless you look at the money puck, I think it's like a 91 point something percent chance the Hawks miss the playoffs right now.
Ooh.
So you got to start thinking about the trade deadline, and
Yeah.
there has been talks that the for sale sign has been put up in the United Center parking lot, and this team is ready to start moving assets to collect. You know, they need to get a first round pick for next year. Draft picks is probably what they need to do. I mean, unless they can
more prospects, like
cool
prospects,
some
too.
prospects, but you're not going to get many high end guys. That's going to make a difference for this year. It's going to be guys that's going to come down the road and all that kind of thing. So that's going to be another thing too, is like, you're going to see a lot of names get thrown out there. Well, okay. There was a tweet that went out saying that the reports of the Hawks are open for sale. Everybody on the team is up for grabs with 3 untouchables. Now, when you hear 3 untouchables, you would think what?
Jones,
Kane?
DeBrincat, and Dach.
You don't even think Kane?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, but when I hear 3, I would think Jones, DeBrincat, and Dach.
Okay, well, you are 1 for 3. A report saying that the only untouchables on the Blackhawks are Taves, Kane, and Jones.
Which is funny because I think they're misinterpreting untouchables with like untradables. It's like you can't trade Jones and you can't trade Taves. I don't think anybody takes either of those contracts. Like 8 more years of Seth Jones at 9.5. I don't like that. Just doesn't make sense for anybody to be like, yes, we're going to trade for him, even though you just acquired him and signed him to this deal. Like that doesn't make any sense.
What's that guy's name? Frank Cervelli?
Yeah, Saravelli.
Or Saravelli. Yeah, so he's the one that tweeted this out.
It's just weird.
Like, I would think that he would know the difference of untouchable and untradeable.
Right.
So that's why I think that's what's the first thing I saw that was like Kyle Davidson's fucking high. Like there is no, like, in what world is Alex DeBrincat not number 1 on your untouchable list?
I mean, unless you're getting like 5 first-round picks for him.
I wouldn't even do it then.
Right.
There's right now at his point of his career and the way that he's been going, there's nothing that I would think I would take for DeBrincat right now.
No. Plus, he's got another year on his deal, and he's still an RFA, and they have tons of money that they can use when his deal's up. Like there's no cap problem with it either. Like,
yeah, it makes zero sense.
It's not like they're not going to be able to afford him, and it's not like he's literally the next leader of this fucking team. Like, I don't get it.
You have Kane and Taves coming off the books the same time as DeBrincat.
I think
if you re-sign Taves, no way in hell is he making anywhere near what he's making now.
Right.
Kane, maybe a little bit of a bump, but you can still do DeBrincat, like just swap out Taves and DeBrincat, you know, like for that contract length value and all that. I
mean, I would go less for Taves still, but
no, but I'm just saying though.
You're saying for the 10.5, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just funny, but I kind of see it as like, yeah, we'll listen to offers. Doesn't mean they're going to entertain every offer, like, oh, like we would love to take Dach. Who's going to trade for Dach? Like he still needs to progress more. It's not like he's going to all of a sudden make a huge impact on a championship team. Like that doesn't make sense to move. So nobody's going to be trading for him unless like a bottom team wants to do like a swap. That doesn't make any sense for anybody.
Is there a Stan Bowman in the league right now that first round picks that hasn't quite panned out just yet?
God, that's stupid.
We have a segment on Dach, so we're gonna hold off on that one. But yeah, I understand like entertaining offers and seeing what's out there.
Yeah,
but DeBrinket's not the guy that you do that.
No,
that makes zero sense to me.
I think it's funny. Maybe Davidson likes to laugh, and he's just like, yeah, oh, you want to trade for Alex? Okay, what are you thinking about offering? And then just hangs up every time and just laughs. That's not no.
I'm also curious to see, because they say that Kyle Davidson has full reins, that he's able to make whatever moves he wants. Mm-hmm. How much though? I feel like saying Kane and Taves are untouchables.
I think that's
a rocky move saying hey, you need to keep them here.
Those guys bring the money. I mean, what they had the number 1 and number 2 jersey sales for like the longest time in the mid 2010s.
It just blew my mind saying that. Then there's thoughts about, everybody. The big question too on the Blackhawks is, where's Marc-Andre going to get traded? Who's going to trade for Marc-Andre?
Well, also, does he want to get traded?
So that was another thing that came out. Dreger came out saying that there is a understanding with Chicago Blackhawk management and Marc-Andre Fleury that unless Marc-Andre comes up to management and says, trade me, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The way it should be.
Exactly. I mean, he was contemplating not even coming, but he didn't want to do that to the team that wanted him to come play for them. Like, he was done dirty by Vegas, not by the Hawks. And so, why would the Hawks turn around and be like, we really appreciate the fact that you came and played for us this season. We'd like to get rid of you. Without asking you. I think that's just a general courtesy. The Hawks, I don't know, they could get a first. That'd be great. I would love that. But this guy doesn't need to just keep getting done dirty by the NHL. It's fucking ridiculous. I'd say just if he wants to facilitate a trade for him, it's kind of like what happened with Keith. Keith just wanted to be closer to his kid. And so the Hawks were like, okay, we'll make a deal happen. And then I don't know how they got the deal to work in their favor when he only specified a certain area of the nation. But they did. And
because it was a battle between two bad GMs.
That's true. Very true.
It was which GM could outsmart the other idiot GM.
Yeah, Jesus. Or which GM is going to outdumb the other one.
Yeah.
One of the other things I saw with the trade rumors is oh, the Hawks are open to trading Hagel. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? He's on a great deal. He's an RFA. That, no way. The guy's second on the team in goals, and he's just probably one of the quickly becoming a fan favorite player. Like you said, next Shaw.
Yeah.
And then it also had mentioned that Murphy was available, which I just don't think is possible because he just signed an extension this year.
It kicks in next year, yeah.
It's possible, but it doesn't make sense.
It's a very cap friendly trade, so it could be doable. I just don't see why they would, especially.
It's an NHL 12. You just signed this guy to an extension and traded him, so now you get a BlackBerry phone taken away at the deadline kind of move.
But here's now devil's advocate here though. That was all Bowman. 4 teams remain in the NFL playoffs, and that means only 4 teams left for you to bet on. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Counting down to Super Bowl 56, new customers get 56-1 odds on any team. Bet just $5 to get 280 in free bets if your team wins. Not a new customer? You can experience the conference championship with same game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is a safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN and get 56-1 odds on any NFL team. Bet just $5 and win $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code THPN for 56-1 odds at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and a $1 wage required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. It wasn't Davidson that made it. It's like,
I don't think you make that move if you're Davidson and you're just an interim GM though. Like, I feel like you get whoever the GM is going to be, and you start having them build the team and make decisions like that. Like,
once
I
understand, GM is in place,
right? But this is one I'm saying for like this season, since he's still the interim GM, like, you don't trade contracts that are from beyond this year. Like, trade the contracts that are up this season, because hopefully they have a new GM by the time the re-signing and free agency comes around that makes these decisions.
Oh my God! If they don't have a free agent by the time a GM by the time playoffs are over,
right?
They fucked up.
I mean, that's when you'll see like teams firing GMs and hiring GMs. So hopefully that's the thing. But like, you make these moves that aren't going to matter come the re-sign and like free agent area, because like you get rid of the guys that pretty much weren't going to be on the team anyway for next season. Like the contracts that don't make sense, the contracts that are ending at the end of this year. You don't trade the guys that are like signed for 4 more years at $4 million and wearing an A on the jersey. Like that doesn't make sense.
So essentially you're saying Carpenter,
yeah,
Lafferty.
I mean, Lafferty's a weird one. But I wouldn't mind moving him. Like he's a very small sample size. I've liked what he's done.
Yeah.
But yes, so Dahan, Lafferty, Kubalik, even
Gus.
Strome, Carpenter, Fleury if he wants to, Gustafson if that makes sense.
Any team would be dumb enough to take him again.
I mean, if you have a team that needs an offensive defenseman.
See, in my opinion, so here's who I think should be untouchable for the Hawks. That it shouldn't even be coming up in trade conversation.
Right.
DeBrincat.
Yep.
Hagel.
Yep.
Kirby.
Yeah.
I think Lankinen.
I mean,
goalies are so weird though.
Goalies are weird. And I told you we're gonna have Jack Campbell next year, so it's not gonna matter. But yeah, and like Seth Jones. Seth Jones, I think Jared Jones. I can't believe I found that out recently.
Oh yeah,
it's Jared Seth Jones. He goes by Seth. Yeah, like those guys are untouchable. There's the guys that you'll listen to offers, but more than likely nothing's going to be good enough to trade. And then there's the guys that are like open, like come and see what you can do to get them.
I'd love to see a trade proposal for Kane, because I just want to see what his value actually is, because we have our bias of Kane. I think it should be the next 20 years of first round picks and your top prospect. And
I think the crazy thing too is like GMs also value Kane a lot higher than a lot of fans do, because there's fans that just that's just like, dude, Kane sucks defensively.
Dude, we said this before.
Watch Kane all the time.
It's what we said before. It's the Blackhawks situation. Everybody sees the Blackhawks, and all of a sudden, boom, bad team. Everybody sucks. Everybody's brutal on that team. Piece of shit human beings. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Fuck off.
He's a point per game player, and he hasn't really scored much this season.
The greatest American player in NHL history. And
are you kidding me?
Not even NHL, in hockey history.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So like GMs know that he's valued very high. And I'm sure like any team that's like a hater would just be like, why would you give up so much for Patrick Kane? It's like, look at points over the last like 10 years, like last 5 years. Kaner's top 5.
This is the first year that his numbers have gone down. And like you said, it's probably because he's hurt. He's
still point per game.
Yeah.
He's injured playing a point per game. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to watch.
Another
Not
name
always
that's
fun to
been
watch.
another name that's been thrown out there too. Slowly, I don't know how serious it is. Borgstrom is a name that's been kind of kicked around a little bit, which is another one I'm like, I kind of don't understand because I kind of feel like they were very high on him. But again, that was also Bowman era.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I mean, that could make sense.
Well, that was another one of those like first round picks that you can get for somewhat cheap and see if it works out. And I'm not mad about it. I just don't think that there's been a fit so far, like super well. I've enjoyed like him playing, but he's another one of those guys that's just, I think, interchangeable on those bottom two lines.
He gets lost in the shuffle. I forgot about him until I saw the 2 goals he scored last night.
Yeah.
Another story that came out too, Dylan Strome, the alleged asking price is that any team can have him for either a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Which is silly, but I mean, whatever, man.
You got a guy that
I think he's worth more than that, but I don't know. Like,
it's tough with him.
I just wish that he could play like how he did the first season he was here.
Half season.
Yeah.
He's only 24. Like that's
what's happened. What has happened so like since then?
He's 24 years old.
51 points in 58 games. And it's just
and he's an RFA, so it's like whoever you're getting, like you could probably get at least a 2nd rounder. You should be able to get a 2nd for him.
Right.
Like 2nd round, Hawks eat most of it, as much as of his contract that they can for the last of the year, and then you go into next year with your RFA rights with him. I don't know why a team maybe who needs like a depth position.
Dude, he's gonna end up like exploding the second
he needs. I mean, I think he will. He is one of those guys that I think as soon as he gets put into a situation where he can consistently play the same position with the same line, that's what's gonna be the difference for him.
Yeah,
he keeps getting shuffled in and out of line position and all that. Like that's not gonna work for him.
This team just needs like an identity again. I don't know. They need the clear, like, who's going to be the coach, who's going to be the GM. Right now, it's kind of like a odd
misfits.
Try and fight your way to the end of the season and maybe get into a playoff spot, but it's weird. Where's the direction of the team?
Yeah, and it's frustrating because we're not going to know that until, like you said, the new coach comes in, the new GM comes in, and it's even more frustrating. I think we said it last episode too, is that we're still probably a year out from fully seeing the identity, because you're gonna have to go through another season of growing pains of the new coach coming in, putting his thumbprint on this team and putting his game plan into it, and the new GM coming in,
also putting their thumbprint on the team.
Yeah, like
I wonder if they're going to end up clearing house or if they're going to end up like shuffling, just doing a mid shuffle around. Or
it's going to be rough. I think we're unfortunately in for some rough times in Chicago for hockey again. And yikes, buckle in, folks.
Yep.
Last thing I got for the Hawks is back to kind of talked about earlier, Kirby Dach. And I am calling this segment Justice for Kirby, because he is getting way too much hate, and people are truly showing their ignorance when it comes to hockey and player development and what to realistically expect from players.
He just turned 21 years old.
And he got eaten alive. The Blackhawks did a happy birthday post, and he was just getting eaten alive.
That's so shitty. It's so weird.
People are calling him a bust, saying that he wasn't worth a 3rd round pick, that we need to trade him, we need to get rid of him, and all this kind of stuff. And listen, we've said this before, and I don't understand what people aren't understanding with it. Is he is not they're expecting a Patrick Kane, high goal scorer, high points type of guy. It's not the player he is. It was never going to be the player that he is. He is going to be more of a Jonathan Taves type of player where his defensive game, his two-way game is going to speak for himself.
Right.
He's going to probably have a couple seasons. Like, what is Jonathan Taves? Like, what's his average? Let's see.
He was mainly like close to like a 50 to 60 point getter.
54, 69, 68, 76, 57, 48, 68, 66, 58, 58.
60s mainly.
60s, 81.
He had a 70, he had 81. That was right before COVID.
Like, Kirby is going to probably be between a 40, 60 and a 60 point guy.
I mean, he's going to definitely be
maybe 50,
I think higher
50 to
than
70.
That. Like currently he's underperforming on a team that's underperforming. I mean, he's on par with the team for underperforming. I think a lot of the time he's getting shit on because of like his decisions to not shoot, and people are like, it's not worth it. It's like, I don't know, man. Like he makes a lot of really good passes, and a lot of guys don't finish too. Like he could probably have a lot more assists if guys finished. There was a couple times in the game against Minnesota recently where he was stick handle around fucking two defensive guys, and there was one play where he literally fed Kubalik twice in front of the fucking net and he didn't score.
Yeah,
and I was just like, this is the type of shit that like he gets shit on for, because like he makes ice for himself, draws players, dishes it, and then players don't finish. And it's just like, you look at the score sheet and he doesn't have points, and everybody's like, he's a fucking bust. It's like, all right, man, let's get him some fucking like help. Like he's sick. He's so fucking good. It's just like not translating into points.
Kaner went through the same thing where he was looking every time to make that pass. Like early on in Kaner's career, people had the same complaint about him. Oh, he's not great. He's just trying to pass the ball. He's never shooting. He's got all these open shots. Dude, it's a what is it?
You're a young guy trying to fucking perform in a men's hockey league, and you don't want to piss everybody off and by not feeding them that they've been playing for fucking 8-10 years.
There is so much going against Kirby that is just completely unfair. Like I feel like everybody from his draft class have the same thing. I know it's developed a lot better for some other guys in his draft class, but so let's start with this. He is going to be on his third coach.
Yeah.
He will be on his third coach, who's going to bring in their third probably playing style and what he's got to learn to do. He has been dealing with, he had to come in and play with that broken wrist injury from World Juniors.
After having an amazing playoff after the bubble. His first season ends short because of COVID.
Right.
They get tossed into a bubble. He plays great in the playoffs. And then the season doesn't start until after New Year's, but he is going to World Juniors, breaks his fucking wrist, and has a shortened season again. An even shorter season. Two
COVID shortened seasons. Doesn't get the fully really get things going. You got this year, missed games for COVID protocol. You've got, then on top of this, another thing too that I think really went against him is that he would force in the NHL a lot sooner than I think he should have been.
Yeah.
But it was a situation where he couldn't go play in the AHL. He couldn't go play in Rockford. So it was either go back to juniors or play in the NHL. He's dominating juniors. He is a big fish in a small pond in juniors, and it just would not do anything for him development wise. So you're kind of force your hand to keep him up in the NHL, and you kind of throw him out there. You throw him out there where he has to, essentially swim or sink in the NHL and try to figure it all out there.
Yeah. He definitely needed more time to develop, and it should have been in the AHL. But now you're at this point where he's played 120 something games, in the NHL, and there's no point in putting him down. He's actually played 120 games exactly.
Yeah, like you can't put him down at this point too, and it's like the kid's trying. Like you can't fault this kid because he's not performing to a high level for all this kind of stuff. But it's like you have to take into account everything that's gone through in his career so far, and that he was essentially thrown into this situation when he shouldn't have been. It's complete dumpster fire of a team.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Good news, out of his draft class, at least he leads in penalty minutes.
Let's go, Kirby.
We got the grinder.
Let's go.
Love it.
I don't know. This kid, I feel for this kid because he's going to be good, and I want it to be on the Blackhawks, and I don't want it to be one of those situations where
they give up too soon.
Or he gives up on this team and he tries to get out.
Yeah, I think he's got a really bright future in the NHL. I keep saying, like, if you really pay attention to these games and like you just watch him skate with the puck, it's his ability to hold onto the puck and fend off defenders and get into open ice on his own. It's there's not many players that can do that. The whole finishing aspect is going to come. The getting players around him that are going to finish the passes that he gets to them, that'll happen too. This season's kind of, I mean, these past 3 seasons have been kind of really fucking weird. And I mean, you can even just look at his first goal he ever scored in the NHL. It went off of his knee.
Yeah.
I think it was against Marc-Andre Fleury as well.
Yeah, Vegas.
And it's just like, man, what a weird way to start your career, and what a weird way it's gone since then.
I wonder if he ever gives Marc-Andre shit about that.
Maybe. I bet he did. Or Marc-Andre's probably just like nice enough. He's like, and just like, it's like, hey, you're welcome.
You're welcome. I'll let you have that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're looking to, it's like a perfect example too of the development that he should have had. You're seeing in Lucas Reichel.
Or Trevor Zegras.
Yeah.
Zegras was a U.S. born player that played for the national development team and played a year in college, but then was able to go straight into the AHL where he fucking dominated.
Yeah.
And that literally helps out. And then, I mean, can you just the hype that comes up when you have a young guy that dominates in the AHL, like, what a great way to hype up your fan base, though, too. I mean, also, he's just insanely good. But
it's just, yeah, it's people. If you were on that trade Dach or, get rid of Dach, Dach's a bus train, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like go play NHL and do it yourself. But otherwise, just stay out of real life. Like it takes years for players to develop, not fucking minutes. So.
Yeah,
like, give it some time.
God,
I always think about like how people were gonna like saying that when Colorado was like playing terribly with Duchesne, Landeskog, and McKinnon after McKinnon was a first overall pick, and they were like, "Yeah, this guy's not gonna be as good as everybody thought he was." He signed a fucking real team friendly deal and became easily the best deal in hockey because he's top 3 player in the league.
Oh yeah, easy.
I'm not saying Doc's going to be a top 3 player. I'm just saying like they take time. I think McKinnon exploded from like 50 points to like 96 the next year or some shit like that.
Like, and who knows? It could happen for Dach.
He could be a big point getter, but
I think realistic expectation
he plays penalty kill. He plays power play. He's an all situations type of guy. Like he's going to be more of like a Getzlaff.
Yeah.
He's going to be 6'4", fucking standing in front of the net, dishing pucks away and putting garbage in the net. Like, he's not going to probably need to be a big shooter. But, I mean, he could. Like, he gets so much fucking ice, man, if he fucking gets the shot down. Like, you know how Taves usually looks guys off on a 2-on-1 and fucking nips it, like, just above the pad, like, towards the post far side? Yeah. Shit like that. Dach needs to learn that. He can literally just become like the right-handed Taves.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just think you stop hating on the 21-year-old kid. Everybody wants their top 3 picks to become like fucking Connor McDavid.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's frustrating. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I got for NHL or Blackhawk talk. Justice for Kirby.
Yeah.
I'm naming the episode Justice for Kirby.
That's fine. I like it. Yeah, just relax on the Dach talk. Get Dach out of your mouth.
All right, real quick NHL talk. I don't have much written down here.
Oh, also Kara and Stillman are on injury reserve. Oh, now I remember. During the winning streak, Jakob Galvis was playing.
Oh yeah.
Him and Stillman together were playing real good.
Oh yeah, Stillman's gonna be.
So I'm excited for Galvis to get more ice time on the Hawks. However that happens, he was solid both defensively and just with the puck offensively. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm really happy about that shit. And I really hope he keeps it up because that kid was a 5th or 6th rounder.
He was a 7th rounder.
Was he?
Let's see. Jacob Galvis. Oh no, 5th round. Sorry.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, 5th round. Why did I think 7th round?
I don't know. Wait, which draft was it?
2017.
Oh, 2017. Okay, yeah. He only played 3 games. He was +1, but he averaged 20 minutes time on ice. That's pretty insane for a kid that
he was had one of the most ice time in his debut too.
Yeah, he was second
insane.
most as a defenseman, I think. But it's just hell yeah, dude! Fucking get it. So hopefully he'll just keep developing because I really like what I saw from him in that three game sample size.
And again, it just shows look at, you're going to let this team develop defensively, our prospects, let them develop. Yeah. Let them develop. I love how they gave Reichel a taste. They gave him a taste. King even said too, when
Slavin got a little taste.
Yeah. When they sent Reichel back down, and King was asked about that. And he goes, there's a plan for this kid. He goes, this is a marathon. It's not a race.
I like that too.
They've
been doing a good job at working guys in. I think that Ian Mitchell's gotten some games. Hopefully Bowden gets a couple games here and there.
I think they just called up Wyatt too. So hopefully
they brought Kalynuk back in. I think that's the newest thing that he just got activated. Yeah, he did because Stillman's on injured reserve.
Yeah, so I hope he gets some time too.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good to work in your options. And I like it. We'll keep it going.
All right, NHL talk.
Yeah.
So I got 2 things written on my list. What about you?
One. I didn't really write anything else down.
Okay, so what do you got? Oilers just falling.
Yeah.
Fun fact that oh God. So they're 10-0 when they score first this year.
Mm-hmm.
They've let up the first goal in 15 of the last 16 games.
Ooh, nice.
This team is so bad.
Yeah. It's funny after I don't know. Part of me wishes we were like the Oilers when they had a hot start of the season. And then the other part of me is I'm glad we're not the Oilers because it's you have the best players in the league and I don't understand how their team works. It's so weird.
I
don't know.
It's really
stupid.
What's really fucking funny too about this one is all this is going on and everybody knows it's their goaltending. They need it. They need a legitimate goalie. They need a legit goalie. Let's bring in Evander Kane.
Yeah.
And some that that sticker, the duct tape, extreme duct tape. It's the meme of the guy, the water coming out of the tank and the guy just slams the sticker.
Oh yeah.
And it was
the Flex Seal.
Flex Seal. Going down the standings and it's boom, Evander Kane. The guy's fucking with Evander Kane.
Let's go out and get a fucking 40-year-old goalie. Hell yeah, dude.
God. Yeah, and then you got the reporters asking Leon Draisaitl why he's so pissy. Yeah. It's a shit show in Edmonton.
I wouldn't fucking want to talk to that guy at all either. I'd just be dude, fuck off.
So
they are they have two of the top 15 oldest goalies in the league with Mikko Koskinen and Mike Smith.
The White Smith still has another year after this.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying they should trade for Fleury.
What do we get back, Duncan Keith?
Yeah, right. They would have to give up a first, but they'd also need to give up cap. I think we talked about this last time too. Like, what else would they do? They just waived Kyle. Sorry. That feels great. They just waived Kyle Turris. Ooh, what if we got Jesse Puljujärvi? I wouldn't think they would do that though, too. That'd be really funny.
Yesterday, they won their first game since December 18th.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it like
in Seattle?
Or Arizona had more wins since like November 25th than like Edmonton?
Yep.
That's crazy. Arizona's got 10 W's. Montreal still only has 8. Yeah, man. Montreal. Also, I think Jake Allen just got hurt in Montreal, so they're like extra fucked.
They have a bunch of goalies too in COVID protocol, I think. No, it's Vancouver.
What is it? There's only one Canadian team in a playoff spot right now, Toronto. Yeah. Sucks to suck, Canada. But I don't know. They have a bunch of games in hand because they wouldn't play because they had no fans at the games.
So stupid, but whatever.
Money, man.
Right. Another thing too for NHL talk. Brad Marchand was in one this week.
Yeah.
Jesus. Going after Carolina.
Yeah, Vinny Trocheck and comparing himself like a Prius to a Lambo.
Yeah, Trocheck was asked, would you compare your game to Marchand? And he goes, are you calling me a rat? And then that's when Marchand goes, that's comparing a Prius to a Lamborghini. And then they proceed to get their asses kicked by Carolina.
Yeah,
and Carolina tweets out, L is for Lamborghini. And Marchand goes, you're the reason why we're still paying escrow, like 20% in escrow.
And then Carolina switches their Twitter bio to not the reason we're paying for escrow. So fucking Carolina.
And then he also weird. Marchand Easton also commented on the Draisaitl pissy thing, and he's like, "Yeah, fans are gonna wonder why McDavid and Draisaitl aren't gonna re-sign in Edmonton." He said that. Then he goes and
took a fan's phone.
Yeah, took the fan's phone, which was pretty cool. Going on that, but then proceeds to get hurt that game too. It's like, just what a week for Marchand there.
Yeah, dude.
What a week.
Obviously I could see how like he would be like anybody's favorite player on their hometown team, but like, holy shit, he is so easy to hate still too.
Like, every time he does something that I'm like, oh damn it, I like him. And then it's like 5 step backwards. I'm like, fuck that dude.
Well, one of the things that I heard recently too, that was like, damn it, I kind of like Marchand a little bit more, was that
I know what you're talking about now.
Jimmy Hayes' son.
Yeah.
And he like goes and hangs out with him like often. And he always, and like his son always says that he wants to be like Kevin Hayes or Brad Marchand like all the time. And I'm like, fuck, man, like, why you gotta go be awesome?
Yeah, right.
I hate you on the ice, I guess, but you're so good. You're such a good person. Here's a cool stat that I saw recently was Senators versus Ovechkin.
Oh yeah.
The career goals. Senators, every player on their team, all their career goals combined, 627. Ovechkin, 759. It's good stuff.
He is tied for first in scoring in the NHL.
You know what I just remembered? In the Minnesota game yesterday, I don't know why ESPN, when I put it on the ESPN Plus, it started with the Minnesota broadcast. I didn't really notice like right at the start. And then I noticed as soon as Minnesota scored their first goal, I was like, oh, wait, what? Because they were celebrating. But also fucking hilarious. The camera pans to the crowd celebrating, and then there's just one Hawks fan just sitting there, like sulking, and then it fucking zooms in on him. I was like, yo, this is so dirty. And I just fucking immediately switched the broadcast.
That's awesome.
But yeah, you can find that picture online. It's really fucking funny.
The last thing I kind of really want to talk about too is all the bullshit going on with the racist shit
Oh yeah, Jesus.
and the AHL and then the ECHL. I'm not gonna get into it because everybody heard about it and all that kind of stuff. It's just this shit is like it's bullshit. This shit's got to stop. It's a reason why people hate this sport and speak so ill of hockey players and all that kind of stuff. This shit needs to stop. Like, there's no room for this in the world in general, but it sucks when it comes when hockey gets dragged through this, because
Right.
It's like the hockey I know and what I've been around my entire life, it's nothing like that. And
Yeah,
it's like
it shouldn't be anywhere near part of the culture, but it's fucking like a shitty little crab that's like stuck on it. It's like, get the fuck off, get it out of here.
It's just absolute fucking bullshit, and this shit needs to stop. And it sucks too that there's two incidents of this happening the same week that they retired Willie O'Ree's number in Boston.
Yeah,
that's fucking ridiculous.
It's just so dumb. It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you, even if you're a player that like thinks like that, obviously you're a fucking asshole, but like, you're playing in the ECHL or you're playing like semi-professional hockey, there's a lot of fucking people at these games. Like, what do you think is going to happen when you do shit like that? Like, everybody's going to see it and be like, that guy's a fucking piece of shit and you shouldn't play on this team anymore. And then you get kicked off the fucking team. You're literally a dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, you're just a piece of shit, showing how much of a piece of shit you are to a bunch of people. And then everybody's gonna be like, fuck out of here.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. So, be better, fucking be better. That's all I got to say.
That's right.
So do you want to wrap this up, or do you want to do an all-star draft?
We can wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. I think this one actually went longer. So
yeah.
All-star games coming.
Still coming up.
All-star games coming up. A lot of snubs. Was very surprised. Nathan McKinnon had some strong words about it, saying that it's ridiculous. This whole
Nate McKinnon's becoming a little bitch.
I know. I agree with him though. I don't think everybody deserves an all-star.
I mean, it's just to showcase a player from each team. It's not like one of the things that I saw was like all-star does not take or the Hall of Fame doesn't take into account like all-star appearances,
right?
Like the NBA does. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. It's just a fan event. And if you're a fan of a team that's not playing really well, you still want to cheer for one of your best players. Like, okay, sorry that Rantanen didn't get fucking into the game. I mean, Kadri got voted in, but I mean, Roman Josi got screwed because he's playing insanely well this year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just think it's like it should be the best of the best, and shouldn't matter who is on what team and all that kind of stuff. But that's that's another thing too. They need to figure out, and that's been talked about with the Olympics and all that not happening. Is they have to find a way to do a best versus the best competition.
The draft was the best, but the guys were getting too hammered on TV.
Oh,
it was the greatest thing.
Drunk Ovechkin was the
Take me last.
I
want to go last.
It was like him and Phil, right?
No, because Phil got traded during that one.
Oh, that's right.
For Sagan.
That's right. All right, so let's wrap this up here. This is episode 167. We're calling it Justice for Kirby.
Yeah.
Be nice to Dach. He's the man.
Yeah, dude.
And you're gonna eat your words.
He's the future of the Blackhawks. Yes. So
make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Hockey Podcast Network, HockeyPodNet, social media at WCB Podcast, 5-star reviews on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And yeah.
Cool.
I think that's it.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
All right. So for Tanner and Jarom, we'll see you on the next one.
Love you, boys. Bye.
The Windy City Benders Podcast. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. And follow the boys on socials at WCB Podcast.